All right, your homework for tonight is to annotate an article. You will receive an article about um, Donald Trump's immigration ban, and you may have some opinions one way or another, or you may not. But your goal in this is it's not about your opinion, it's about summarizing the contents and the main idea of the article. So your task for tonight is simply to read it and annotate. When we talk about annotating, we can talk about several different things. I'm not going to go through this whole presentation because it is on Schoology, but I want you to know what we're talking about and what it means to do active reading. Annotating means interacting with the text, and by that I mean significant interacting. Here are some reasons that you might annotate a text. For us, we are trying to prepare for a writing assignment, debate, or discussion. Okay? We also want to figure out what the text means or says. Okay, this has to do with the article summary assignment, which we're moving into, and here are your learning targets for that. Here are some suggestions on how you annotate a text. This is what you are doing for Monday. I'm going to say that everyone has to do this. Number each paragraph. That's going to make it easier when we talk about certain things or when we need to reference certain things that we can very quickly find those items. So everybody's got to do this. What comes after this is kind of optional, but you should do most of these. Underline or highlight main ideas and important terms. Don't just grab a highlighter and start highlighting a bunch of stuff. Make sure it's a main idea. Make sure it's important. Circle or box any words you don't know. Obviously, if you do that, you should also look those words up and be honest about the words you don't know, because that's going to give us our summary information. Write down the keywords, the definitions, write questions. That's so important. If you think of something, if you're like, I wonder how this might affect people, or I don't understand what this means, write it in the margin. You can make signals where important information can be found. Stars, exclamation points if you think something really stands out, question mark. Draw arrows between two ideas that you think are closely connected. Draw a picture, a symbol, where something would help you to visualize it, make a connection, and write in the margins. I'm going to say this is also something you probably should do. And by writing in the margins, we might summarize a specific part, paraphrase it, especially if it's difficult, or if we just want a little more clarity around it. So as you annotate your text, first things first, you're going to write directly on the article. You're going to number each paragraph. And our learning target is to show significant interaction with the text. So I should see a lot of stuff on your article, but it's got to be purposeful. Here is an example, and I know this was hard to see, so you're probably going to want to look at it on Schoology, but here's an example of a really good article that's been annotated. You can see here there's a lot of stuff in the margins. There's stuff in boxes, and these seem to be questions. They remembered that we're not working on opinions, we're working on facts. They also made a little post-it note with like a key as to what different color coding means. So there's a part that's green, which refers to people. A part that's yellow refers to main ideas. You don't necessarily have to do this, but you can tell that they spent a significant amount of time writing, highlighting, drawing arrows, and really thinking about things. That's your task for Monday.